Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran and it's time to bring back the WoW update. A type of video where I just want to get a little bit of your guys' input and have a discussion either in the comments or in the video. In this type of video, I just like to cover WoW news, whatever is exciting, whatever I'm interested in. And in this video, there's a lot of stuff to cover. From Heroes of the Storm, Pro League getting shut down, the new mount fiasco where everybody just hates Blizzard left and right. Insane changes coming out for patch 8.2 that prove that Blizzard's whole artifact power and this Azeroth power system just does not work, as well as a possible new mount for the Year of the Pig update. Yes, we're getting a pig bound, at least it looks like. And because I'm the kind of person that loves seeking approval from all the random strangers of the internet, if you guys want to give this video a like to let me know that you'll want to see this kind of series and want me to cover more of this, maybe I'll make it a once a week, 100% guaranteed type of deal, let me know in the comments below, give this video a like, do all the good jazz, subscribe to the channel for the live streams, but let's actually just get into the news. The first one is huge with Heroes of the Storm update. Blizzard did a blog post with Heroes of the Storm news ... Yes, it sounded super extra goddamn ominous. The main part out of this that you need to read is the one in the middle. We also evaluated our plans around Heroes esports after looking at all of our priorities and options in the light of the changes with the game. Heroes Global Championship in Heroes of the Storm will not return in 2019. Now let's be honest. Heroes of the Storm wasn't the most popular title for Blizzard. It was yet another MOBA and honestly should have been called something like Blizzard All-Stars, or yeah, Blizzard All-Stars would have been something. That's the title that I heard someone else use, and I feel like that would have been more fitting because that's what the game is. It plays in the genre of the MOBA, and it tried to stand out as its own game, but it came into a very saturated market. And honestly, out of all the things Blizzard has done, where it broke into a different meta of the market, instead of dominating it, this is where they fell short. There's a couple things to cover about Heroes of the Storm. First of all, I felt like the game's whole success rided on Blizzard, and it was really up to Blizzard whether to keep it going or not. From what I heard, it looks like somebody at Activision came into the Blizzard headquarters saying that they need to cut some costs, which is why Heroes of the Storm was on the chopping block. Now, while it wasn't the most popular game out there, I feel like it's mostly Blizzard's fault that it wasn't so. First of all, Blizzard came up with this game and put it out around the time when MOBA genre wasn't nearly as popular. It was starting to get into its decline phase, and Blizzard simply just didn't stand to it. It was also weird to see Blizzard, the giant of games, where they take any game genre and dominate it. You talked about RTS, look at StarCraft. It knocked out the competition to the point where StarCraft is one of the few RTS left, and even that whole genre is just way dead. The MMO genre, World of Warcraft, has been dominating it for the longest, whether you were playing through the highs of Wrath of the Lich King or even the lows of Warlords of Draenor, or some people would even say BFA. Even Overwatch made the whole hero shooter a hero shooter. It basically redefined the style. Of course, there were always people that played around on Steam and they were playing Team Fortress 2, but I feel like Blizzard definitely pioneered and almost renamed the idea of hero shooter, emphasizing the hero part with the lore, the story, and just the popularity of how the game turned out to be. Out of all the biggest action RPGs, you now have Diablo and maybe Path of Exile, but now with Diablo Immortal, I don't really know if Path of Exile has anything to stand against. It was like the only competitor, and people really wanted for Diablo to be that damn good. They really wanted for it to be amazing, and it took a whole expansion for the developers to really get their stuff together when it was like starting to feel really good to play, but like, yeah, it just kind of adds on to a bit extra disappointment of what this game was, and this is not a game that I really enjoyed too much, but it was still enjoyable. There was a viewer from a while ago, shout out to Feli by the way, we would actually play this game together, and she knew German with a little bit of English, and I am all English speaking with not a lick of German that I understand, but it was a game that we could just play together and just chill and just kind of hang out. It was at least something interesting, and because of its casual nature, you can jump into any hero, and all of them have this World of Warcraft E, StarCraft E, Diablo E feel, because a lot of them are drawn from the different Blizzard games that a lot of people liked. So it's a shame that this game is gone. Even though it wasn't the most popular, it was at least something interesting. But what's even bigger is the way that Blizzard went about doing it. So apparently there was a huge promotional event, huge hype around Heroes of the Storm during BlizzCon. They announced even their own original hero and the art team and the models, and just it felt like there was a lot of investment being put into this game. Then Blizzard released some sort of a year-long experience buff that you could buy for this game, so you would basically have to commit for 12 months worth of this and buy it ahead of time. And then you had all the people with the pro scene, the commentators, the players themselves, the announcers, everybody involved into the pro scene that Blizzard still kept throwing money in, even though it wasn't their most successful game. And it's weird because around Christmas time, everybody gets to find out that all your potential, all your opportunities, and even your jobs are kind of gone. And it just doesn't leave a good feeling whatsoever. Now, I'm not somebody who is connected on Heroes of the Storm, so I'm not going to fake as if like it really affected me in more ways than one. I definitely have the compassion for you everyday man, and it really sucks to see people in a tough of a spot. But for me in particular, what I don't like about this is the recent fiasco with Diablo Immortals, and then us hearing that maybe there's somebody over at Blizzard from Activision saying they need to cut down costs. It almost makes you think like Activision is doing something behind there with Blizzard, and there's a lot of reshuffling happening, and it's almost like Activision is ruining Blizzard again. On that note, that's where I get really upset. I honestly don't really care that much about Heroes, but I do care about Blizzard being able to put out their own products and have a little bit of autonomy in terms of the creative process. And I don't like the idea there's some company kind of just chilling in the shadows, doing a little bit of the string pulling, while Blizzard is just kind of killing their own titles, and honestly just feels like they're almost shooting themselves in the foot, especially when it comes to the company to player type of interactions. Just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it. What do you think? This is all I could have captured about this in particular of the news. Would like to hear your guys' thoughts. Let's move on. The new mount for World of Warcraft came to the store. It was actually a very unique mount that can fly but also can run. It's a Volpera looking like fox that's been added to the store. Not everybody were happy about it. I mean, for the first part, this mount does look cool. It is kind of interesting. I do like the details, but a lot of people didn't like it on the YouTube, at least. It was a very similar thing of, wow, that's a very cool unique mount. One, you could have either put it in the game as something to earn, or you put it on the store. I feel like we've had always a mount or some kind of an item that you could put on the store that had some sort of a cool effect to it. I don't really remember that being the major thing in Legion, as in Legion you had a plethora of different mounts, even though it was like another looking horse, another looking dragon. There was a lot of still differences to make those mounts stand on their own. Like for example, when you think of Onyxia and when you think of one of the Valajar drakes with like the jaw that has an outline, I don't really look at them and think it's exactly the same thing. Hell, even Legion had its own unique mount when it came with the fox. The original fox, the Leviathan Prowler from Suramar, that you would get through a secret questline that had to do with the Order Hall as well. And I really like that about the game. I kind of understand about what people are saying in terms of, I don't like the idea that this is a unique mount and it's on the store, rather than should have been put something in the game while we have so many different recolors. Regardless, I just want to get you guys' thoughts. What do you think about it? I kind of do stand with the community on this one. I guess it's not that bad that we have another mount, but if I had the option whether we should put it on the mount or in game, I feel like that one definitely should have been one of those things you earned. Blizzard also stated that for patch 8.2, they're going to be redoing the Heart of Azeroth and the traits when it comes to the gear, how you will be unlocking and what parts will be unlockable. Something that said in the Q&A was something along the lines of, Azerite armor after battle for Dalaran lore will drop with all traits unlocked. Artifact power will unlock things in the Heart of Azeroth instead. Now, honestly, I have no idea what this is going to look like, and I'll be covering this stuff for patch 8.2, but this came up with a few of different conspiracy theories about Azerite gear. One was maybe Blizzard understood pretty early on that Azerite gear wasn't going to work long-term like this, so they eventually will have to come up with a new system, and they started working on one ahead of time. And that's where they're letting us know in patch 8.2, they're going to be doing stuff in the future with your necklace. So at a certain patch, it'll just change completely how the Azerite system will work. Or they were trying really hard to make it work as best as they could because, you know, they added a vendor, they added a currency system, and it seems like they're adding the second ring. And the idea is maybe now they're realizing, okay, we tried our hardest, we are not getting anywhere. Now we have to kind of panic and make a split-second decision of how we're going to fix the Azerite gear system. Whether you guys in one camp or the other, I do want to say this, that it does look like Blizzard realized that Azerite armor and the whole system behind it just doesn't work. Whether it was a long-term decision that decided a while ago that, yeah, we're gonna have to work on a new system and it's gonna be more polished, or it was like a split-second decision and they'll just come up with some kind of a model, like a beta version of this. Well, I guess we don't really know. One thing I do agree though, Preach WoW stated in his video recently that we should have had these pieces of gear for us to test since the beginning of beta. We basically ended up getting to play around with a lot of Azerite traits and Azerite gear and how it works a week before the expansion release or something along those lines. Compared to Legion, where we were able to start with artifact weapons, test them, and they went through multiple iterations of changes and changes upon changes upon changes with many of the different weapons, passives, active abilities. A lot of things changed left and right. A lot of it got adjusted, buffs and nerfs, but we knew ahead of time what they were going to be, and we could thoroughly play through them, find out elements we like, elements we didn't, as the guys that would be playing this game, and therefore majority of people found them, while grindy, so you have to get AP for every single weapon, a lot of people found them a lot more enjoyable compared to, let's say, the current Azerite system. Now, of course, it could be one of those things where, hey, the previous expansion that I played for 2 years, I'm just so used to it that this new system just doesn't seem exciting, and I feel like that's definitely worth consideration. But we can all agree that the Azerite power system and Azerite gear hasn't been quite as exciting as, let's say, the artifact power system. Even it's less grindy. This is one of the things that people hated in Legion about the AP weapons, is they're so grindy. This new system is a lot less grindy, and it's even a lot less punishing. But because it's a lot less grindy and it makes a lot less of an effect in terms of your gameplay, it just doesn't feel quite as important. I guess to some extent, if you get really good traits, you should be pretty happy, and being able to swap out different traits is nice, but hopefully whatever they do in the future will be within the necklace. Maybe like allow the necklace to choose which traits you wanted. And as you level up the necklace, you find out better and stronger traits. So you start out with basic traits, and then you can do any combos of those traits, and then you can get better healing traits, better mobility traits, so you can customize your character to different situations from your necklace rather than from your pieces of gear. And the pieces of gear instead unlock parts in your necklace, for example, or something along those lines. So kind of like the opposite way. I don't really know exactly how it'll function, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how Blizzard changes them in 8.2. I'll be there to update it as soon as I can, but just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Finally, I don't know if anybody really celebrates the New Year's. I always celebrate New Year as somebody who was born in Russia. It was basically our Christmas. But on the Chinese New Year calendar, they do have the Year of the Pig, and they did data mine this interesting image of what looks like a pig mount. Would you guys be excited about a pig mount? I think actually that would be pretty awesome. You could throw that on the store, because if a paramount looks pretty cool, but a pig, I don't know if anybody will be super happy to ride one, but if you want to, I feel like that mount would have been fine on the store, but to each is their own. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.
Oh, Gaelic Coops!
Gaelic Coops!
He's MC.
He's MC. Oh my god!
Jimbo, please!
Jimbo, please!
Pass! Pass!
It's that!